Hello there, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha Venter. I'm a medium, intuitive awareness coach, kind of life coach. And, I'm just kind of coming off of a visit with a good friend that I haven't seen for a couple of years. So I'm going to be getting into this. So that's been kind of what's been happening at the last minute here. So I just wanted to say that, welcome to here. And my intention is always to be supportive, giving guidance. And today I was called to talk about endings. And it's just not the normal endings that I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to bring myself a little bit in on this conversation, just due to the fact that I've been going through some endings too, which has been pretty magical. And, that's the thing about endings. Sometimes they're this magical moment. And we all have these magical moments that can happen if we walk with the ending. And if you're watching, if you want support, if you want to interact, please just put in the chats and I'll see it. And I just wanted to have this interaction and I'm grateful for this. So, me being an intuitive, I don't judge. I don't judge. I if I haven't done it in this lifetime, I've done it in another lifetime, so why should I judge anybody? That's where when I do a session with someone, I can step into what is happening in their life because there's some time in that time where I have interacted with other people's lives or the scenario that's going on. And with that we're all going through something. We're all amazed at what life is happening around us. Sometimes it feels like it's doing it to us and it's slapping us around and it's just so troublesome. But I want everyone to know though that, there's a purpose for things. And endings are part of that purposefulness. Just like I just heard a story from someone they were having troubles in the home that they were in because of a scenario. They decided that, they were going to do something different, move 2 years or so. And then all of a sudden, they decided, we got to go now. The ending. And then they followed their guidance. They followed their movement. Guess what? They found their magical house. It's not necessarily the house that they loved, but it's the magical house that they can have. And that's the thing about when we work with, and that's the key word, with that ending and see it as like, okay, oh, ouch, that hurt. And I know I've talked about this lately because I've had some major endings in my life. Where can we go with that? I want you to know that we're always going to be going through endings. And I know for a fact that a lot of us here are managing endings with our bodies. Many of us are getting older. Many of us are managing life differently. Many of us can't do what we used to do because of age, responsibilities, a lot of these things. And as we go through life and deal with life and interact with life, that we'll find that, sometimes those endings, like I said in the show, even that they can turn out to be something worthwhile. And I'm going to go to a little story about me. And it's just a little one that I want to lead in that I've had some endings with my body that, that I thought, and they could have been maybe final things, like food allergies, food allergens, because there is a different, and some scenarios with the body. And I know for me right now that, and I'm grateful for this. And this is what I knew when I came to California with my girlfriend, and this is her house. This is actually my last night here, and I'm sad because she is my sister. She is my not blood, but we just do this when we come together, and so there's another ending. The magicalness of this trip has been that it gave me a chance to push the reset button, which has been an ending for new opportunity for beginnings. And for her too, that, we've had these magical endings for new beginnings because right now, if you notice, what you think is what you may receive, right? So for me, like, I've had this scenario with my arms where they go numb and tingly, and I haven't been able to do a lot of things over my head and that kind of thing. I just went through something that since 21, and I'm in my 50s now. Can you believe I'm in my 50s? That as we go through life and what we're going through, that I may be beginning the walk of a healing something that I've had for a lot of years. And that's magical. The key is do I believe it? Do I believe that my body can be healed? I'm going to say yes. And the reason is because the magic of that healing moment for me pushed me into a place where I have really no choice to believe it. And when we work with that it's magical to do that. And I'm going to use that word a lot today because we're in this magical moment of just, if we believe it, it may be coming true. And that is the gift. That is the gift that is beyond everything that we can ever think that can happen. We're doing what we can do. We're gonna be where we can be. And oh, I just got hit. I forgot my cards. Oops. Well, maybe I don't won't do a card reading today, but it will work out. Maybe I'll just step away for just a second here. We're doing what we can do. And I know for me, now going to this scenario with my body, that thank you, Veronica. Yes, for being here with me today. So Veronica says, yes, very magical times. It's only magical if we believe. That's the thing. It's only magical if we believe. And the belief is the key to every story. That's what we can have. Now, for me, like knowing that this scenario that I'm going to go through is I got healed. My body still has the tissue that remembers. It still has the muscles that it still remembers. It still has the cellular level that is remembering. So what can happen now is that if I give my body a chance to understand the healing process. So in other words, when I get an ache, I just say, "Oh, thank you for reminding me that we still have to do the healing process with you. I will not challenge you." Because it's not like I'm going to go out and lift 150 pounds. No, my arms won't are saying, "Please let me work a little bit more. Let me just get a little bit more in shape." It's kind of like, it's kind of like when you have a broken leg, or you have a scenario that needs to be healed. It takes a little bit of time for the physicalness to interact and to do what it needs to do, because I know the spiritual can do it, the mind can do it. The body is still a physical thing, that it's that motion. It's like the car can't go from 0 to 100 within just a snap of the fingers. There's some cars that can do it in seconds, but not necessarily in the snap of the fingers. And that's what we have to do. Respect. I'm going to use that word, respect. Respect to the body has a scenario it's going to have to navigate through. And as we do that, and as we navigate through that, life can only be what it's going to be. And I know for me, like, if anybody remembers that last year I tweaked my ankle. Well, down here I've been dancing, I've been having fun, and it told me that it was healthy and fine. But yet at the same time, I did something, and this is where I believe in chiropractic, a true chiropractic, not one of those bone crushers, and not one of those that you know you know I got a story to tell you about how chiropractic can happen and that kind of thing. The ones that truly are healers, that I'm going to go back to her again and have her adjust my ankle, because I think when I was dancing, I tweaked it, not necessarily tweaked it, but it just decided to say that muscle got a little bit of an ache, because I had not practiced my muscles in my ankles enough to dance for, oh, what was it, 6 hours? But like I tell people, they go, "You sure love to dance." I go, "Yeah, it's my soul that dances." Because there's just these moments. So my ankle was part of the physical that said, last year we weren't walking. Now you want to dance for 6 hours? There again, I should have reminded my body that we're going to do something. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. Do you ever talk with your body? Do you ever interact with your body enough to talk with it? So for me, since I've in the past, oh, there's my key word, in the past, that language is like 90% of what we go through. So in the past, I've had this shoulder thing. And I'll probably still use this language a little bit as we learning to work better together and do some healing work. That that would tell my body, okay, body, we're going to be doing some things today. I know that you may feel a little challenged. Yet at the same time, I'm going to respect you. So we're not going to do a whole day's worth of work. I'm going to do just half a day's worth of work. Or I'll say to my body, let's do today. I'll give you a break tomorrow. So with that, and it's honoring it by drinking lots of water. Like for me, I went through a big healing. I went to a chiropractor, worked on places that are usually huge triggers for me in the past. There's that keyword again. In the past, and so I took an ibuprofen. Don't believe in them. I take one. I don't like taking things. Sometimes there's those things that have to happen to help with those moments. And so with that my body didn't start doing this as a habit, it's moving forward. And when we're working with the changes, when we're working with our body, when we're working with how we're navigating, when we're working with, and I'm using the word working because it is a process of, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that we can have grace and ease when we interact with what our story is. Now, that's another thing I want to talk about. How many of us stay in our story? How many of us stay in our story? Many of us are story filled. Oh, my knee. Oh, my back. Oh, there's nothing better here. Yada, 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 yada. And I honor you for that. I really honor you for that. I had a story too with my arms and my shoulders. Kind of sometimes turned into excuses, but they were stories with my arms. And whenever we're going through things, whenever we're managing through things, that's the thing that would be wise to start shifting our story. Now, did you hear in my story that I talked about my arms that I used the words I used to, I'm now healed, I'm interacting with my body so that it can create a new pattern, a new knowing, a new ability? Language helps the mind navigate through its story so that the body can say, oh, yeah. Like just sitting here, I got kind of some tweaks in my shoulder blades. Old story, old pattern. Thank you for tweaking to remind me to make sure I sit up straight. Thank you for reminding me to do those things that help me strengthen my muscles that I haven't been able to use very well for the last several years. Well, actually, last 30 some odd years. So this is going to take some muscle interaction, keyword interaction, to help my body move forward. And yes, I'm talking about myself today, but I can tell you my interactions with this conversation, you can apply yourself too, because that's the thing about life. All we have to do is start believing in the rainbow, believing in the magic, believing in that we can have success, that we can have what we're supposed to have. If we're meant to have it, we'll end up with it if we choose to believe in it. And another thing that I had to navigate through was having my suitcase broke when I was down here. It cracked, and it has the old the hard outer shell, and it cracked, and I didn't want to travel with it. Guess what I've been wanting secretly, anyways, was new luggage. So we went and bought new luggage for me. Guess what? It has magic in it. It's a magical blue. It's got, we can receive what we ask. And if you remember me last week talking about me getting my meds, they came in a magical way. Believe, believe. Be done with the stories as they used to be. You can still tell a story. Like, my shoulder blades were so sealed against my body that they had to use suction cups and then get up underneath and go pop with my shoulder blade. That's part of that old story. Now, that was the first time my nails ever grew in my life is when I got bled to the underneath of my shoulder blades. But now it's like, hey, I have an opportunity. Now, will I maybe be 100% and can lift 100 pounds easily? Maybe not. Do you think my ankle will talk to me about saying, just can we sit down once in a while when we're dancing? Maybe. Yet at the same time, though, I can tell you that I will be able to do yard work. I'll be able to vacuum better. I will be able to negotiate many things that I have slowly stopped doing because of my story that's been confining. And I want you to know, though, that people with back injuries, people with that cannot walk, people who my love goes to you, these scenarios that happen, I understand that there's this application. And yet at the same time, though, getting deep into the story and sitting here and just kind of sinking in the chair and just kind of coming down and saying, I can't do it. You know, does it really help us? Does it really help us? Now, I can say that, it's difficult for me to do this, but I sure can do that. You know, so figure out those balances of where we can go, what we can do different, because it is about honoring the body. Now, with me dealing with my food scenarios, do you think that if I got healed today that I would try to go out and eat tree nuts? No. I'd rather not go through that process. But yet at the same time though, what I'll start doing because I have scenarios with vinegar is I'll start adding in little bits of vinegar and telling my body, today we're going to try it. What do you feel like? Yeah, okay. So try a little bit, kind of wear the moment in, practice the body in to doing things. And that's the way we can do work with things. It's one of those things that right now we have the magicalness to be able to heal a lot of our old scenarios that the story added much more. Our stories added much more. And our scenario probably is half the problem, but our story adds in, 75% more. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not this. It's not this. It's actually this, the story building, the navigation through things. And our bodies, we have the ability to have the structure. Actually, my dad, who's passed now, came through. My friend gave me a message, who's intuitive too, that she gave me a message from my dad. And my dad said, and he's actually saying, yeah, you're sharing this. Your body is your structure. How are you going to keep your structure strong? Are you going to put faulty nails in it? Are you going to put faulty wood in it? Are you going to put faulty food in it? Are you going to put faulty drinks into it? How is the structure going to be? Because I know that I was starting to do this, and I don't want to be a 90-year-old doing this. I want to be a 90-year-old who says, you know what? Like there was on the dance floor the other night, there was an 85-year-old woman who was dancing her feet, wouldn't stop moving. And it's like, I want to be you when I grow up. I want to still be able to dance. But that's the thing is now that I'm at the age I am, what am I going to do about it to get there? What am I going to do about it to get there? And that's the trick. That's the trick of life is getting there. And I know many of us today and tomorrow's and yesterdays are having a hard time being on this planet and struggling with being here. I can understand with that. Yet at the same time though, If you're here, wouldn't you want your body to feel better? And communicating, and I can tell you, having conversation with yourself. Yeah, I know. I know that sounds funny. Having conversation, and that's like talking, who talks to themselves? Yeah, but what do we tell ourselves when we talk to ourselves? What do we tell ourselves? Do I tell myself that, "Oh, I ache, I don't feel good, or I don't wanna, I," or do we tell ourselves, "You know what? I'm kinda got low energy day, yet, I can maybe do a little bit more than what I was thinking of doing, which was sitting on the couch or in the chair." It is about that movement. It's about the joys of life. And I can tell you that communicating with ourselves, like I said, okay, body, we're going to be doing something today. I'll take care of you tomorrow. That doing those things really can help our bodies and our minds get out of the funk of life. And many of us are in the funk. It's just, life is always going to be pushing on us, doing things on us with us, and it's just imprinting us down, pushing us down. Believing in magic and life has miracles, it, it can happen. It really can happen. And this is the thing that I have really decided to start stepping out and doing is that when I was in this house, I went through and I feng shuied the house, shifted the whole energy of the house. And with the owner's ideas, my ideas, and then spending some time together, we came to this magical moment. And so this is my part of my business that I'm going to be expanding is doing applying inspiration for people's homes through feng shui, through helping them organize. Yes, guess what? I can do this virtually. I can do this virtually. There's always something to be able to navigate through. Take me through your house. Let me see what I can help you with to get inspirations. Feng Shui, I can tell you, whenever we feng shui, it can change our life. Like for me, when I had an ending, I decided to take the broken door off the front porch, the screen door, washed with water off the front porch, ended up, not paint I painted the front door and the back door because everything comes in the front door, can go out the back door or whatever, there's energies that come in the back door too. That as we go through life and moving forward, that we create new coming in our life and getting inspiration in our homes makes a difference. I know, Veronica, you probably feel more inspired since you did your spiritual room. And, you know, being in that moment of giving ourselves something, and it doesn't take a lot of money. Things do come, sometimes we have to spend money to do things, but I can tell you that we moved around, like, pictures that she already had 4 or 5 times to see which one was right, and so sometimes we only had to buy 1 new picture, not a whole bunch of new. And so with that, a lot of times we already have something that will work with helping ourselves do better. The magic of life is upon us. I can say that there has been no more opportunity for thinking it and receiving a form of it than now. And I'm going to say that again. If you think it and you dream it and you apply it moving forward, just even getting up out of the house and walking around the neighborhood, you never know what you're going to find. Like my girlfriend was wondering what she was going to do with her necklaces. Driving along the road, there was a tree stand, where you put your coats on, and it was just a simple one. And she brought it home thinking it was for necklaces. She ended up putting purses on it. That's the magic of things happening. And now she has her purses that are art pieces, almost some of them. And now she can visualize what she wants to do with them. So it gives her inspiration even just to get dressed in the morning sometimes. And that's the trick when we do our work in our homes, in our minds, and with our bodies is to help us get moving forward, help us get a little bit lighter, get less triggered, get more interaction with our life. And I'm hoping this is making sense because it's just one of those things that as we go through life and we're managing what we're doing, that sometimes it's our physical body that's telling us no. It's telling us no. And I get this image that many a times it's like metaphorically, you know those semi trucks that have those big trailers. Well, I always think of as our mind and our soul, our spiritualness, as driving the semi truck around, doing all the, oh, I can do this, and then we look back and go, oh, forgot the we forgot the trailer, the human body. Okay, so then we drive back to the depot where the trailer is, and then we've been driving around so much, getting so much inspiration that when we back up, it's like things don't want to hook up because the body is saying, "Wait a minute, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm kind of scared," and it kind of freezes. It doesn't do what it wants to do. And then so then you have to get out and kind of wash off where the rust has happened, make sure the plug-in is good because there's the refrigeration and the heater in this unit that hasn't been used very much. So the plug-in, has been a little bit used. So here we go, backing up, and it's a big clunk crash. And the body goes, oh, because we're not used to doing it. It's kinda like walking from sitting from the ch in the chair and deciding to go to the gym, and then you do an hour's worth of work, and your body's going, "Can I move? Can I move? No, I can't move," because the crash of the inspiration, the spiritualness, the mind wanting to do things, and the body not being in alignment. So get used to driving your truck and trailer around a little bit with everybody involved. Your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, then your emotions, because your emotions have been in that trailer too, because sometimes our emotions catch up with us. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. It was that we have endings with new magical beginnings. Now, for me, being this is my last day here and I have to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, my girlfriend and I are talking about our grief. We're talking about our grief. And that moment where inspiration is not necessarily where we want it to be. And the word that I use for her, remember, my love is in your house. My physical body won't be here. My emotions won't be here. My mind won't be here. But my love will be here. It's filling up the house. It's filling up the moment. And it may not help her every moment, but it will help her be once in a while. Plus, a lot of the work we've done today while I've been here, it's given her inspiration to keep going. It's kept her going. And that's the blessing that I can do. I left her better than where I found her. I left her better where I found her. And if we can do that with our bodies, our minds, the people we're around, leave them a little bit better than what we found them, the magical new beginnings can happen. Because I know for me, going back home, I'm motivated. I'm motivated. Now, is it going to take me a little bit of moments to get going? Yes, just like the body, but it will happen. And keeping ourselves inspired is the trick. I'm going to say that again. Keeping ourselves inspired will do the trick. Now, that's where you can listen to music, have an inspirational picture, uh, doing something. And I'm going to turn my computer around here because this is what I'm looking at. And this is kind of inspiring to me. So in the window, there's the Buddha, and then there's a or a pink plate in it with some stones in it. And then we found for even $5 that window chime, and it's pink, and it brings out the magicalness. And then she had the pillow already. So with that me seeing something that was inspiring, the Buddha that's just a meditative, I'm in a moment, and I can tell you right now that that's the part of the house that is our reputation, how we're perceived by others. Wouldn't it be nice to be perceived as something calm, methodical, uh, you know, inward but yet outward, and the color pink is that section, so that everything just kind of came together. The moment that we're doing life and we're managing what we can do, it's amazing how life is coming from an ending to a magical new beginning. It's about believing. I know a lot of us are losing our jobs or shifting our relationships. And I can tell you, if you're shifting a relationship, please don't go from one to the other. There's time to heal in between. And so with that as we go from one thing to another, that even me going from this house to home, I'm going to take some time to integrate a little bit. This Friday is going to be my integration day, staying home, spending time with my dog, and if my cat wants to see me, she's a little bit independent. That we're going to have these moments where it's like, okay, I'm home now. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with it? Blessings are all around us, and that's the magic of life. Blessings are all around us, and that's the magic of life. Maybe I should do that as a inspirational quote, because I do inspirational quotes on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and doing these videos here. Oh, I haven't loaded my last couple of videos on YouTube yet. There again, kind of on vacation, so I've kind of slipped a little bit on doing certain things. But as we're going through life and as we're managing life, isn't it a magical thing when you actually receive something that you may have slightly asked for? We never know what we can ask or what we will receive, but I can tell you, we may just get it. So please remember to be kind to yourself. Please remember to integrate into what your body is wanting to do. And remember that healing can happen at any moment. All we have to do is say, ankle, knee, do you mind if we can start working a little bit together? Oh, wait a minute, the doctor said that there's something torn. Okay, but I can slowly get you healing by doing Reiki with you, sending loving energy to you. Oh, wait a minute, are you on my left side of my body? Well, that's about receiving. Left side of the body is about receiving. Oops, it's opposite on this camera. Sorry about that. So the left side of the body is about receiving. The right side is about releasing. So if you're having some left side energy problems, knees, hips, feet, ankles, elbows, it's about receiving. Can I receive my life? So start practicing receiving gifts in life. You're not always going to be a doer. You can be a receiver. And then if it's the right side, have you released? Have you released the angst in life? Have you released the energies of what life is going forward with? Have you released the caring of others? Many of us can't be caregivers anymore. We can only be givers of care. So with that, have you released being the caregiver so you can be the giver of care? Trusting this moment, trusting where you're at. Life is a miracle. Sometimes it's a walking miracle. We have to go through the mountains and the hills. Sometimes it's not. So with that, so today, since I'm at my last day here, I'm going to make this video a little bit shorter here, and I want you to enjoy life. And I'm asking for this. One thing, using the mantra, I'm asking for healing on this. 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 So with that, blessings to you on your journey. Blessings to you with wherever you are. And just know that inspiration, I may be able to get something magical if I believe it. This is Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com, and may blessings be with you on your journey.